Now let's continue sizing conductors to a particular type of motor. Now in the figure that we're going to review at this point would be multiple speed type motors, and it'd be our figure 18-4 in Stallcup's Volume 2, Designing Electrical Systems, or we would just go to our 430.22b as in boy on page 313 in the NEC. And notice if we have a multiple speed type motor, which could easily be in existing facilities and maybe even in a new facility under certain conditions. But notice we want to review the RPM, which is listed in our figure 18-4. And say we had an RPM of 3,420 at 27 amps. Our second speed was 2,280 at 35 amps. Our next speed would be 1,710 RPM at 45 amps. Now this is the values that we would use. Now notice we're not using the nameplate of the motor at all. We're not using the full load currents from the tables at all. We're actually using this ampacity rating, which is on the motor, is what we would use. And it's based upon the 3. And then we select accordingly. So we have our multiple speed motor listed here. Now to size and select THW copper conductors that is listed in the calculation form in the figure, we pick up, say, sizing the branch circuit conductors to the left. And notice step 1, 430.22b, we take the largest amperage, which is 45 amps for that RPM. Step 2, we apply 430.22b and take 125% of the 45 amps, and we come up with 56.25. And always the golden rule I suggest to be applied in step 3, 310.14a3, informational note 2 or item 2, basically states that we calculate the load as we did in step 2, then select the conductor from table 310.16, so we would need a number 6 in the 75 degree column to handle 56.25 amp. So in the solution then, for the branch circuit conductors, we would select number 6 THWN copper conductors. Now, sizing the multiple speed conductors. Then step 1, we have our RPMs listed there that we've already talked about, so we'll go into step 2. And we'll take 27 amps times 125%, 33.75. We'll take 35 amps times 125%, 430.22a. 45 amps at 125% is 56.25. Now the application of selecting the conductors using THWN copper conductors, again now we would look at 310.14a3, and we'd look at the informational note 2 or the item 2 and table 310.16. So for 33.75 amp for the 3,420 RPM, number 10. 43.75 is calculated in step 2 would be number 8. And the 56.25 calculated in step 2 above would be a number 6. So the size THN copper conductors would be number 10, number 8, and number 6 as selected from table 310.16 around about, I think, page 161 in the NEC.